On the road to Venture, 1975. Bad enough a secret city fell in a secret war with human faces, a road of refugees making their run for it. Some strange hopes prevail, frantic, littering the way with filthy stragglers discarding 1,000 things they'd been so certain they'd need. There was a major I knew escorting them, sent to keep something close to order at the end. By the roadside he recognized 2 men. He'd grown up with them, attended one's wedding. In their despair, with old knives, they'd slit each other's bellies open, trying to get a taste of opium in the other's warm fat. The air reeked of bowels and defeat. He left them behind that day to die, as such men died in the Laotian dust. But 30 years later in Minnesota, he still remembers their eyes when they offered to cut him up too. Riding the tiger, burying my wars these memories of you. It don't mean nothing, wondering who will stop the rain and who knows the way back to San Jose, 10,000 places you left your hearts. What a song for all these waters and slaughters. It seems almost unthinkable, but I'll ask anyway. In the shadows of Saigon and your olive and pomp, did you really see yourselves in your rumbling array as some smiling lady from Niger, or believe you were merely the tiger? All this napalm, but burning bright, our fearful symmetries, these roaring hogs, hurling yourselves at the moon and stars, striped liberty gorging with impunity, weapons free. You came a long way, baby, for hearts and minds. Lighting huts like there's a snazzy meadow down the avenue. You never pause to think what it really means to come back, deep down inside, from this land of cyclos and samsara, snickering at were-tiger rumors, shining bullets for a voracious phoenix. Deja vu. Ken Burns is bringing up the Vietnam War. It's a documentary with a soundtrack to die for. 9 Inch Nails and Yo-Yo Ma, Ray Charles and CCR. 18 hours to cover a war of 20 years and 180 days, or 19 years, depending on who you ask, picking up shortly after the end of the French at Dien Bien Phu. For the occasion, I filmed a poem of mine this summer that someone found again, one I wrote in 2002 as I remembered a visit in November 1997 in Missoula among Hmong veterans while searching for my family. It's a long story. A poem doesn't give you much time to talk about secret wars or Valkyries, specters, or the secret stories behind the code names of company men like Hog and Kayak, Black Lion, or Mr. Clean. I hold old photographs in my hand. I click through digital faces salvaged from old Legionnaire estate sales, dying photographers who thought I might like to know what they saw in my lost jungles, for a price. It's the closest I get to a time machine, with no way to change the present, but possibly the future. Still, I've said this to you before. In writing this, time stops being a one-way river, less a bamboo sticks. 1,080 minutes is all they think that we can spare, 40 years later on a war that never ended for many of us. Our voices, fleeting smoke they tried to box into a neat package, believe the bygone era will never relive again. Buddhist ideas aside. Missoula, 1976. At 3 years old in Montana, I became a citizen on Flag Day during the American bicentennial. That and a cup of coffee gets you a cup of coffee, even if you write 1,000 poems for 1,000,000 elephants. I didn't stay there, of course, but in this city I met my first ghosts and dinosaurs, gorgons and ancient gods. I played with a young girl named Dulcinea, discovered the family pigs eaten by a bear, and saw my first neighbor die, crushed beneath a fallen telephone pole. I wish I'd remembered his name. Our family dog Dutch, in his tragic jealousy, tried to kill me a few times. I still have one scar from it after 40 years, but I miss him anyway, because that's the way refugee memory works. Moving mountains, burning stars. In Germany, the Kruppsberger 288 was forged to kill mountains, towering 96 meters and 13,500 tons, indifferent to poetic subtlety. This isn't the work of surgeons cut into a mountain's coal heart, maybe an ancient vein of diamonds worthy of mortal beauties. Watch it cross a road, and you might feel more minute than an old man gazing at the summer mountains of Kudin. Witness it raise some sprawling range. There you feel like a deity, some pure Vulcan at his fire, who needs no scenery of mere stones. We are tiny men from Sydney and Beijing who smile to eagerly bring such tools to the peaks of antique Luang Prabang, our groves of teak, our sacred caverns and aisles. In a small room in the cosmos, these fleas haggle. One day, they might reach Mars or Alpha Centauri, long after our own foolish names are rightfully lost amid flickering stars and cold galactic memory. True. Here my mouth is an ink waterfall by the shore of your beautiful body of legends. One day, a hero like Sitong, Sinsai, or a wandering wit like Shenmian might come upon my modest verses and fondly remember bustling Market Street with the same delight as story to Nong Fan Num, even if my own momentary name is forgotten, like the architect of your first Vat or the last cook for the Buddha.